Oh gosh, yeah, that was a mistake sitting down here because I've got a wet bum. Planning, Alan, planning. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Caergwrle in the outskirts of Wrexham. It's really between Chester and Wrexham, and I take pride in the fact that I have been to every single medieval castle, certainly in North and Mid Wales, with the exception of this one. So that's why I've come here today. Don't ask me why I missed this one out. It is literally the only one. I'm including all of King Edward I's fortresses, because that's what they are, and the smaller ones. This is an example, and these were built by the Welsh princes, who were more often than not at war with the hated English King Edward. So we're going to have a look around and I'll tell you a bit of the backstory about it, which is quite interesting. So welcome to Caergwrle Castle, a few miles north of Wrexham. And yes, it is the only remaining medieval castle in North and Mid Wales that I haven't been to until today. So that's why I'm here. It stands on a lovely fortified rock outcrop with views out towards the Clwydian range in one direction, and if the trees weren't in leaf you would be able to get some nice views out towards Cheshire as well. So it's a Welsh built castle, which means it's more basic than the kind of huge constructions that King Edward I undertook in his ring of steel around the North Wales coast, much more compact. And it was built by Dafydd ap Gruffudd, and basically he turned against the Welsh and supported King Edward I, so a bit traitorous. And he was actually awarded this area because of his loyalty to the king, and that's when he built this castle in about the 1270s, I think. If I'm incorrect with any of these dates, I will put them down in the down here somewhere. So yeah, he constructed this, and then yet again things turned about, and he actually turned against the king. He slighted the castle, which means that basically he made it unfit for use, and that included filling in the well. One of the most important features of any medieval castle like this is that they must have access to water in the event that they are besieged, and so to make it doubly sure that the place wasn't worthy of future use, they filled in the well. So the whole place was slighted, wooden buildings would have been burnt down. And later on it was given to Queen Eleanor, that's King Edward I's wife, Queen Eleanor, and for that reason it's also known by an alternate name, which is Queen's Hope. But that's enough of the history, I hear you say. What am I going to do photographically? Well, I've got the E-M1ii with the 12-40, and I've got the Lumix 45-175 lens with me as well. It has been a very showery morning. The ground is soaked, so I'm going to need to be a little bit careful on the stony ground, but we'll go and have a look around, see what we can do, and show you some details. And here, of course, complete with the usual amount of rubbish, is the well. I think I'm probably about 100 metres, 300 feet or so above the level of the village, and certainly the main road down below. So to get to the water table, I think the well must have been pretty darn deep. So you can see the area is quite small, and there's a curtain wall. That's this big slab of stonework to my left. and a couple of towers. So the keep would have been that larger one over there where I came in. And it's believed that once Edward I got rid of the pesky Welsh, even though they had slighted it, the feeling is that he probably employed Master James of St George, who did a lot of the work on his major castles, to come and have a look at what was needed to put the place back in working order. But repairs were never completed. Now that is 100% a fireplace. And I think, as per usual, my photographic eye is drawn to this rather wet staircase with some nice detail shots in there, I think. Can't see this being a very long video this time, I'm afraid. It's, for me, an interesting place. Awkward to photograph. There are no real views from outside the actual masonry that's left of the castle. Some great views behind you from where you're being filmed from now, out towards Cheshire, and some really quite threatening clouds over that way, so hopefully I'll be able to get that across in a couple of stills that I've taken. Loving this lens, the 45 to 175, absolutely amazing, really useful little lens. And I've just seen these yellow flowers here. Oh, that's gorgeous. Almost like a buttercup, but not. They're on dirty great big long stalks, stems, whatever you want to call them. And this just gives me that ability to isolate them. I want to open the aperture up. Because they're quite a way in front of the masonry behind them, but f8 with a micro 4/3 sensor, you'd be surprised how much of that masonry might well get fairly clearly seen in the photo, but we'll see. That was a grab shot. I've done some of sort of water droplets on ivy and things, and bracken, and I did one part way up here looking down through the trees. So more about the intimate little details than the actual castle construction itself, really. There's nobody else here, and my goodness, it is one steep pull from the main road to get up here. Well, we've had quite a lot of showers, as I think I've already said, but now we do have blue sky and clouds. Oh gosh, yeah, that was a mistake sitting down here because I've got a wet bum. So yeah, Dafydd ap Gruffudd, he rebelled against the king, or his forces did anyway. I'm not sure whether he was alive at that point or not. I suspect he was. But they rebelled against King Edward I, slighted the castle, and made sure it wasn't of any further use to anybody without substantial amounts of money being spent on it. And it was never actually rebuilt. Sad, really. But we're left with this wonderful relic and all its memories. And Dafydd ap Gruffudd, by the way, was the last native-born Prince of Wales. It was after that that King Edward I proclaimed his son to be Prince of Wales in Caergwrle Castle, and that has continued up until the present day. Okay, time I made my way back down and caught my train home, I think. I'll look out for some more detailed shots along the way. It's now actually a very pleasant afternoon. You really won't be able to make it out from the footage on the Osmo, but away in the distance are the Clwydian Hills, and just further around to the right you would be pointing more or less toward Chester. I think maybe you've got an idea now how steep this footpath is. And this is the easy bit with the steps. But right now, it's doing my knees a power of good. Not. Lovely views from up here, with the village of Caergwrle down below. After the Welsh revolt and King Edward putting them in their place, so to speak, the intention was to build a village down below. But in their lifetime it never happened, because while Edward and his wife Queen Eleanor were actually here, there was a fire, and in those days, you know, a fire in a building like that was pretty darn serious. So that's what caused the major damage after the Welsh had left. And in King Edward I's lifetime anyway, there was never a village built at the bottom of the castle mound. So I presume that the existing village of Caergwrle dates to about, I don't know, 18th century, something like that. Yeah, you can see the main road down below there. I hope you're enjoying the midweek musings. It's one of those suck it and see jobs for me. I've no idea what people will like, and I'm just putting together stuff that comes to mind. So far nothing newsworthy has hit me, but no doubt, certainly in the Micro Four Thirds world, if something of interest gets announced, I'll make sure to put that as a midweek musing. But I hope you're enjoying what I've done so far anyway. Right, we're almost at the road. Always nice to see the Welsh flag flying on their war memorial ground. And I'm also glad to say that it's downhill all the way to the railway station. Yippee! So before the traffic noise gets ridiculous, I'm going to say, enjoy your photography everybody, and I'll see you all next week. Bye for now.